And then we're going to have a guy, we can transition to that. The guy that you want to talk about next, which, he could be the first cornerback off the board, was Mr. Farley.
Yeah, so 6'2", 207. So early in this process, it was him and Patrick Surtain, 1-2.
Yep.
Greg Newsome, the second, has come back in. Chasey Horn. I see those two more of zone guys. Caleb Farley and Surtain are more man guys. Again, another guy that opted out. Very athletic, very fast. My buddy Clint, big Broncos fan. Farley is a Vic Fangio guy. He's man. He has great ball instincts.
Vic Fangio's pants just got tight listening to you talk about that.
Yeah, I know. He's a smaller type guy, so he's not great in run support. Which in this league you need to be. Your corners need to hit, and your secondary needs to hit. So he'll learn that as he gets going. I haven't watched any tape on him, so it's only notes I'm reading from other stuff. If I'm being honest, I use the website, the draftnetwork.com. You can actually do mock drafts of your whole, like all 7 rounds. You can have trades. It's actually one of the coolest websites for it ever. They've got him mocked as a starting outside corner.
Yep.
So if I'm looking at teams there, obviously Vic Fangio is one. Another team that lost both their corners is Dallas. They play a lot of man. They could use a corner. They got beat a lot over the top there. And I think the other one to pair opposite Chris Harris Jr. Would be the Chargers to take him. I think Dallas and the Chargers are the best fit, because I think given between Parsons and Farley, I think Denver would take Parsons. So I actually, it was Denver and Dallas as Surtain and Farley. And so Dallas fits. They've got no corners. They got beat over the top. I think I saw a stat sometime in the year, like 40% of the deep balls were over the corner, like not over the linebacker. So they got beat a lot. I mean, they got beat a lot. Yeah. Talk about a guy that was an MVP for his team, Dak Prescott. He goes down, the whole thing, the whole ship goes down. Got Andy Dalton.
What do you mean, Andy Dalton? I kind of made a joke. Andy Dalton is officially one of the top 5 quarterbacks in Bears history. He's yet to play a snap, but
he got paid because Dak Prescott went down. But
and he got paid. He got paid because he's competent. That's all the Bears wanted, and that's all. That's which is sad, because that's all the Bears been looking for.
Yeah, they just kept swinging and missing, and
they're like, Nick Foles, Rex Grossman, Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler is probably actually the best quarterback in Bears history.
He's one of them. Yeah, maybe other than Jim McMahon, who won a Super Bowl back in the '80s.
Yeah,
but that was a defense that took that team. Those are the top teams. I mean, you just touched on. You got to be in the right system. You got to be on the right team. You talk about, there's no more evidence of being on the right team at the right time than the 3 quarterbacks in Trubisky, Mahomes, and Watson.
Yeah.
I will go to my grave. I will die on the hill. If Patrick Mahomes is a Bear, Patrick Mahomes isn't Patrick Mahomes.
No, he's not.
If Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes because he was with Andy Reid, Nagy, and
get to sit for a year.
Yeah, and Bieniemy or Patrick Mahomes doesn't sit for a year. He doesn't make Andy Reid look great. Nagy doesn't get the job in Chicago, so now Mahomes is with, I don't even know who was the coach in Chicago, but it wasn't.
It's not Lovey. I can't remember who it was then.
It was between those two, but even Houston,
I'm going through. I'm like Lovey Smith, no. Mark Trestman, no. Whoever.
I think we're too far past whoever that was, but
we're way too old for that.
Same with Watson, right? Like if Trubisky's in Houston and Watson's in Kansas City, Watson is putting up those crazy numbers. So it always matters the team you go to. That's why, I always hate going to what if drafts, because you could take a guy from the 7th round that was unbelievably or unsigned, but he was not on draft board, so he was not going to be drafted in the 1st round, 5th overall, and put up great numbers. So
I will die on the hill that I think Josh Rosen is actually still a good quarterback. I know it's hard to believe, but I think that guy got one of the rawest deals in history. I remember watching him play for the Cardinals. He had a center one game. The center could not get him the ball. He couldn't snap the ball and get it into the quarterback's arm range. He was literally up, down, side to side, picking up balls in the dirt. I was like, you literally just put this guy in one of the worst offensive systems possible. With a terrible coach.
And I think you might be the only one on that hill.
I'm just
including the teams that have him.
Yeah.
And Tampa had him for like 3 months on the practice squad.
Hey, guess what? That's because they were worried about COVID. They just had him sitting in a room.
Oh, 100%. Oh, 100% they did. Yeah.
But no, it's one of those things. I think but you look at that situation, there's a top 10 quarterback. He gets a raw deal in with the Cardinals with a terrible offensive line. David Johnson goes down that year. Now he's got no running game. You got Larry Fitzgerald, and that's it for receivers at that time. And your defense was okay that year, but like I said, the coaching staff was before they brought in Cliff Kingsbury and all that other stuff. Then he goes from there. Where does he go after that? Well, he gets sent over to Miami. Okay, well, Miami decided, hey, we're going to tank for
Tua.
We're going to tank for Tua. Okay, well, what's going to happen there? So then now they're terrible and they're dog shit. So now you literally go from having one terrible situation with no talent to another one. And does Ryan Fitzpatrick go in and look better in Miami? Yes. Do you want to know why? Because the guy's a freaking veteran quarterback that's played
for a
decade, right?
Yeah, like Fitzmagic is Fitzmagic. I don't care what anyone says.
Exactly, right? Like, is Fitzmagic a guy you want for 16 games? Probably not. But if you want like a really good 7 games section up for him,
or an off the bench guy,
yeah,
Fitzpatrick is your guy.
Great guy. But yeah, so like I said, I think at the end of the day, you have all these guys that are so good. Farley, I've kind of the same thing as you. I've watched a little bit on him, and have heard his name enough just where he was such a highly touted guy. Because when they started all opting out, that was the big thing. Oh, Chase is out. Oh, Sewell's out. Oh, Farley's out. Like, it's all these big name guys that are already kind of locked into a top 15, 20 draft position that they're all opting out because they don't see a way for them to go up or down or whatever, right? Does he fit a lot of guys' systems? No.
No, you
just because some guys like to run zone, right? Like, he's not going to fit into an Oakland because now they have Gus Bradley. So he's not going to fit into an Oakland system, right? He's not going to fit into some other places. But like you said, a Vic Fangio, he's getting excited. He might fit into a Motor City Dan Campbell, but I don't know if he would quite fit into what they're kind of looking for. They just drafted Jeff Okuda last year. He might be a guy that falls a little bit, right? Like, he might... And I think he's got, I might be wrong.
I think him and Trayvon Diggs in Dallas is a nice 1-2
100%.
outside corner set.
You need to stop the passing game. You got all the offensive weapons you could need, other than if you want to update that, that offensive line over in Dallas, just because obviously Tyron Smith isn't Tyron Smith anymore. Travis Frederick, obviously retired. But you're not going to take a center, injuries. I don't think, in the top. There's not a center to take in the top 10, right? Unless they get the other tackle that they took a couple years back. Can't remember his name. Anyways, but they got a couple guys there, but nothing but sticking out. I think he'd make a good guy there. Maybe a Denver might take him to, like I said, just as a flyer type of thing. Like, I think he had something though with his hip, or he had some kind of injury that kind of has some people questioning him. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else, but I think I remember seeing something about him having some kind of injury. But when like I said, the highlight tape I've watched of him, he tracks the ball well. He moves quickly. He's everything you could want in a number one corner. And I think in the right situation, that guy is going to be very special. Now, could he also become an Eli Apple or one of these other guys that have been first round quarterback draft busts? Yeah. Like, I think corner seems like the position out of every other one that is
hit or miss.
Is a hit or miss type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, not just like, oh, he's not very good. It's like, no, like, that guy can't play in the league because he's that bad. So it's hard to say which one he's going to be. I think if he doesn't have injuries, I think it's going to be the latter, that he's going to be playing the league for a long time. But